Recently on the internet, there has been an interesting cross-strait disturbance. A mainland and internet celebrity married to Taiwan due to the talk about the 5 unions of Taiwan in the film. As a result, he was disqualified from detention by the Taiwanese government, returned to the mainland before the deadline. As soon as this happened, instantly sparked a heated debate between the two sides of the strait. Many netizens have expressed their opinions. Let's talk about this internet celebrity. History of being deported from Taiwan. The content includes the background of the event. Why was he deported? The inside story exposed by mainland netizens, and the situation of this internet celebrity in the cross-strait public opinion. First, let's introduce the protagonist of the story. The internet celebrity Liu Pei. The so-called Liu Pei refers to spouses in mainland Chinese. That is, marry into Taiwan, or a significant other married Taiwanese. In Taiwan, there are quite a few famous communities in Liu Pei-shin. Mainland spouses actually make up a large proportion. Most of them have significant other families in Taiwan. Ordinary life. However, the internet celebrity we're going to talk about today is not ordinary. His online nickname is Yaya. In Taiwan, you can tell the name as soon as you hear it. He is a mainlander living in Taiwan. Internet celebrity. Share your experiences in Taiwan. Yaya is from the Chinese mainland. It is said to be from Hunan. I moved to Taiwan a few years ago because of my marriage. He married a Taiwanese man. According to Taiwanese law, after Liu Pei got married, you can apply for so-called clothing detention. That is, relying on Taiwan and relatives to obtain a detention permit in Taiwan. After obtaining this license, mainland spouse, it usually takes a long time. To apply for settlement in Taiwan, even take a Taiwanese ID card. During this period, they are still foreigners. Spouses need to abide by some relevant regulations. When I first arrived in Taiwan, Yaya is like many new celebrities, experiencing a different cultural environment. He started sharing on the internet, little by little, video recording of daily life in Taiwan. There are novel discoveries about eating, drinking, and having fun. There are also daily interactions with family members. Due to differences in living habits and cultures across the Taiwan Strait, his shadow, the film is quite appealing to some curious netizens. At first it seems it's a shared life, an ordinary account to chat about foreign news. But gradually, Yaya's film style has changed. He started in the film talk about some sensitive political topics, especially when it comes to cross-strait relations. What is particularly striking is that the position is very pro-China. Dear China here. I don't like my hometown culture in general, but directly speaking for the Chinese government, he has publicly stated many times that the two sides of the strait are a family. Emphasize that Taiwan is a part of China. And here's what's even more radical. He preaches in the film. The word 5 cylinders is short for the unity of force. It means advocating the use of force to achieve cross-strait reunification. Hearing this, you might think, living alone in Taiwan, enjoy the freedom and convenience of life in Taiwan, but openly advocated for the People's Liberation Army to attack Taiwan. This operation is a bit bizarre, but that's exactly what Yaya did. He's done some filming, content, including new weapons and equipment from the Chinese mainland. Talk about how powerful the mainland's military is. Excitement in the tone. It seems that I can't wait to unify the two sides of the Taiwan Strait as soon as possible. He even had his young children on camera with him, introducing the PLA's new amphibious assault ship. In the film of the Sichuan ship, the child shouted childishly, "I hope this warship makes the first contribution to take back Taiwan." Many Taiwanese viewers were stunned by this scene. This mother not only called for unity herself, even the children were handed prizes. Taiwan has been recaptured. It's amazing and infuriating. So, why did Yaya make these remarks? From his own account, he feels himself just expressing a political stance, and he is very clearly on China's side. In his eyes, sooner or later the two sides will be unified. He wanted it fast. Maybe he also knew that these remarks would cause a stir in Taiwan. Disgusted, but he seems to think, this is promoting the concept of one family on both sides of the strait. I hope the two sides will eventually become a family, but he wants to use the People's Liberation Army to fulfill his family's dream. At the same time, such strong remarks, it is also easy to attract the attention of some mainland netizens. On the Chinese internet, many people like to see themselves in Taiwan. People who still love their motherland, they may think it's called playing chess in the enemy camp. So Yaya's channel, it quickly attracted attention on both sides of the strait. Pro-unification fans think he is patriotic enough. Some Taiwanese netizens began to feel that something was wrong. I wonder if this person is here to live in Taiwan, or for United Front propaganda? The turning point came in early 2025. With Yaya's film, more and more high-profile advocacy of plane trees. Finally, someone can't watch it anymore. In Taiwan, there is an anti-communist internet personality named Ba Zheng. He publicly stated that Yaya's remarks have been reported to the government. He is accused of taking advantage of Taiwan's freedom of speech, spreading unfavorable claims against Taiwan. In fact, it's not just embarrassing. Some Taiwanese netizens have long been disgusted with Yaya, think he is enjoying the welfare of life in Taiwan, while shouting for the People's Liberation Army to call. It's like eating out of a bowl. Put down your chopsticks and scold your mother. Under civil pressure, the relevant units in Taiwan began to take action. Early March 2025, the Immigration Department of the Ministry of the Interior of Taiwan asked Yaya for an interview. So-called interview is to invite him to immigration. Do a survey of his remarks online. According to Yaya's later description, the interview lasted nearly 3 hours. The battle is not small. There are audio recording equipment. There are also multiple officials at the scene for questioning. The immigration people asked him a lot of questions. For example, ask him why he made these films. Did anyone instruct him to do this? Did you take money from the mainland? Is there a team working on these films? Obviously, the Taiwanese suspect. Was he involved in some sort of organized united front? Promotional activities, worry about his back. There may be Chinese official intervention. After all, one person made this claim in high profile in Taiwan. It's rare if it's spontaneous. But if you are instructed, that's even more serious. Yaya, of course, denies this to the end. He emphasizes that he is just a civilian. There was no team behind it. It's just me and my kids making the movie. He also said that he had never taken a penny from the so-called motherland. It's purely out of personal ideals. He argued that he usually also sees information from major media, public figures in Taiwan. Every day they talk about how powerful the People's Liberation Army is, can be broadcast on public channels. Why can't he express his opinion? What is the so-called freedom of speech in Taiwan? During the interview, Yaya also disagreed, saying he was dangerous, intimidating remarks against Taiwanese society. The Immigration Department made it clear that Yaya's remarks have been illegal, according to Taiwan's cross-strait people's relations regulations and related regulations. Although mainland spouses can live in Taiwan, but if there is a danger acts harmful to national security or social stability, the government has the power to revoke their detention permit. Publicly advocating China's armed aggression against Taiwan is regarded as a situation that could endanger Taiwan's social security. In other words, in the eyes of the Taiwanese government, what Yaya shouts is the righteousness of unity. But essentially, he was doing the war better. The red line has been stepped on. The Taiwan Immigration Department investigated shortly after, decided to deal with it according to law. They are based on the provisions of Article 14 of the relevant law, revoked Yaya's Ichin detention permit, and stipulated that he would not be allowed to apply for Iraq again within 5 years. To safeguard national security and social stability. What does this decision mean? It means that Yaya must leave Taiwan. And you're not coming back for 5 years. Ichin is in custody. For him personally, it's like being kicked out of the house. Don't forget, he already has a family and children in Taiwan. After the detention permit was revoked, pretty soon, immigration sent the official document to his home, asked him to leave the country within 10 days. Otherwise, he will be forced to leave the country. That is to say, if he doesn't leave after the deadline, Taiwan will directly take him away and deport him. As soon as the news comes out, Yaya suddenly became a controversial figure from the internet, became the target of official expulsion. He himself was just, when receiving the interview notice and disciplinary decision, it was quiet for a while. According to him, at the conclusion of the interview on March 4th, he also signed a robbery warrant. That's a guarantee. Promise not to discuss any more sensitive content, so it didn't happen to him in those days. But wait until you really receive the deadline to leave the country. Yaya can't sit still. After all, this is a big deal. He is faced with having to leave the place where he has lived for many years, maybe even separation from the child. So in mid-March, he made another film, delivered a parting speech. So here's the interesting thing. In this last film, Yaya's tone has softened a lot compared to the past. In the past, he always sang about the strength of the motherland. At every turn, he calls for the reunification of the two sides of the Taiwan Strait. Now, he began to remember himself fondly, life in Taiwan. He suddenly praised Taiwan as his second home. The human touch in Taiwan is very warm. The cultural atmosphere also makes him feel at home. He shared himself. Some experiences when I first came to Taiwan. For example, using a Taiwan treasure identification card for the first time to see a doctor. I think the treasure appraisal system is very considerate and convenient. More recognition after personal experience. His parents also visited relatives in Taiwan twice, every time I took care of him after he gave birth. Although my parents have only been in Taiwan for a few months, but I was deeply impressed with Taiwan. After returning to the mainland, I also often preach the beauty of Taiwan to my relatives and friends. Anyway, it sounds like he is actually full of gratitude and love for Taiwan. It seems that the previous meeting must be people who shout and kill again, not him at all. Yaya explains in the film that he was silent. It's because I signed a promise not to discuss it again, but now they are being asked to leave within 10 days. It disrupts the child's arrangement. It was hard for him to accept. He wants to clarify something. I also hope that even if I leave, I will leave innocently. The so-called innocence here, it refers to he doesn't want to be regarded as a bad person by Taiwanese society. I hope you don't get him wrong. He said he would continue to clarify, fight for justice for your family. Implied meaning. He also seems to want to turn public opinion around. At least don't be demonized. But, judging from the reaction of the majority of public opinion in Taiwan, I'm afraid it's hard for Yaya to wash her white. Most Taiwanese netizens are friendly to him, not grateful. Someone left a message directly saying why they went early. I just came to praise Taiwan now. It was too late, and someone mocked him. It means your video. It's been well documented. Freedom of speech in Taiwan. If you don't feel free, you can go back to China. Congratulations. Now you can go back to your motherland and enjoy freedom of speech. You could say, Taiwanese netizens' mocking firepower is quite fierce. Strong on the one hand, the public regards him for enjoying Taiwan's resources. But I don't love Taiwan, which is very annoying. On the other hand, everyone also caught the contradiction in his words and clicked on it. Don't you think Taiwan is bad? Good time to go back then. Look which way. Speaking of which, we have to mention the United Front mentioned earlier. Many Taiwanese believe that Yaya's actions are not purely personal remarks. It's more of a United Front propaganda tool. The so-called United Front. It is a strategy of the Communist Party of China towards Taiwan. Preach cross-strait unity in various ways. China is powerful and Taiwan is unbearable. Attempting to influence the people of Taiwan, as Lu Pei, Yaya made this sound. In the eyes of some Taiwanese, he's like a propagandist planted by his side. So this incident, it also aroused more Taiwanese people's interest in Lu Pei's group. Has anyone engaged in a discussion of similar propaganda? Someone started to check back, depending on other accounts operated on the network. It turned out that a few are also making similar unified remarks. It is understood that at least 2 other people, Lu Pei, who often makes pro-China remarks on Douyin, internet celebrities have also been accused. The immigration department has issued interview notices to them one after another. It seems that Yaya let Taiwan official. I began to take full notice of this phenomenon. No more blindness. Then over there on the mainland. Regarding Yaya's deportation, what's your attitude? This is more complicated. Ordinary imagination. Mainland officials and patriotic netizens should support it. Pressure and condemn Taiwan for suppressing opinions. But the reality is a bit polarized. On the one hand, the Chinese government really came forward. Spokesperson for the Taiwan Affairs Office of the State Council of China, when asked about Yaya at a regular press conference, jump out and criticize the Taiwan authorities. They pointed the finger at Taiwan's ruling Democratic Progressive Party, claiming that the DPP authorities have exhausted all means, suppress voices with different positions on the island, revealing once again the freedom it claims. It is the freedom of Guizhou Taiwan independence, rather than allowing the freedom of a unified voice. Even the spokesperson of the Taiwan Affairs Office of the State Council, he also named and mocked the 8 who accused Yaya. With a rather harsh evaluation, it is said that this kind of person is Xiao Jr., Rooster. Make good for the tiger, will be severely punished. These 16 words are very heavy. The general idea is to scold people for being mean. Helping bad people. Sooner or later, he will be severely punished. You can see the Chinese side. For someone to report patriotic Lu Pei in Taiwan is very annoyed. He just said something cruel. The official statement, naturally it was hyped in the mainland media, create a kind of Taiwan's suppression of patriotic compatriots. The tone of our strong condemnation. But on the other hand, folk mainland netizens reacted differently. Due to the development of online information, many continents, people can also see Yaya's previous remarks. And then he changed his tune and praised Taiwan. So on Weibo, Douyin, and other platforms, some netizens began to question him, even ridicule. Some say that this person pleases both sides, for whichever side has more benefits. I can't live in Taiwan now. Start praising Taiwan again. Others criticized him. Since you love China so much, shouldn't have stayed in Taiwan for so long. Is it okay now? Finally, I can return to the arms of my motherland. Please applaud for the Taiwanese government. He clearly loves the mainland more. Then of course let him take his children back to the mainland to live. That makes sense. It is particularly worth mentioning that many netizens have mentioned a free comparison. They said sarcastically, Yaya keeps questioning Taiwan's freedom of speech. But in fact, he can speak those words in his heart in Taiwan. And at first, nothing happened. It is a manifestation of Taiwan's freedom. If you were Taiwanese, try shouting down with the Communist Party in China. I'm afraid I would have been invited to tea long ago, or just go to jail. Even if a mainlander shouts publicly in the mainland, support Taiwan independence, it will definitely be worse than deportation. These comments, quite a poignant and embarrassing reality. Yaya calls for unification in Taiwan. In the end, he was just released from detention and sent back to his hometown. After he returned to China, it may not be possible to casually go online, publish what he wants to publish. The reactions of mainland netizens also let the image of Yaya It gets a little awkward on their side. Originally, some patriotic young people may have been quite appreciate his, but seeing his final moments, attentive remarks towards Taiwan, it is inevitable that some people will think that he is not tough enough, and rational internet users think he's doing it both ways. Neither side can be trusted. To put it bluntly, Yaya, now I'm caught in a thankless situation. On the Taiwan side, he's been labeled a United Front tool and labels of unpopular characters. On the mainland, he may not be a true hero either. Instead, they may be marginalized. Some people describe him as inside and out now, not human. That's what it means. Whether it is Taiwan or the mainland, it seems that no one is really on his side. Unification supporters think he's doing a bad job. Also miss theft. Those who support democracy in Taiwan, I wish he went as far as possible. Internet celebrities do this. It was pretty brutal. Except for personal gains and losses, there's something else behind this. The social impact of discussions. The first is the issue of the scale of freedom of speech. Taiwan is a democratic society. Freedom of speech is guaranteed by law. But that doesn't mean you can say anything without restriction. Especially like Yaya, as a non-Taiwanese person. But in Taiwan, he called on the People's Liberation Army to attack Taiwan. This is not just a general opinion. It is clearly threatening and provocative in nature. In this case, government intervention. It is based on legal basis and practical considerations. It also makes people think, in a democratic society, speech of shareholder violence or undermining democracy. How to measure? After all, if you let it go. This may give the extremists an opportunity. But if you care too much, afraid of preemptive freedom of speech, Yaya's case provides a reference. Taiwan has chosen to act within the scope of the law. Both express attitude, the legal process was followed. Secondly, this matter makes the already tense public opinion between the two sides of the Taiwan Strait. The atmosphere adds another fire. Taiwanese people may express their opposition to Liu Pei's group, generate more skepticism and vigilance. Most people used to think, the new famous person came to Taiwan to seek stability. Political stance may not matter that much, but now it turns out that there are also people living in Taiwan at the same time. High-profile promotion of the set on the other side, even at the expense of Taiwan. This will inevitably make some Taiwanese feel uncomfortable. Even began to raise the alert for the entire Liu Pei race, worried about whether there will be more Yaya around. Of course, we also have to see, most deer peppers are actually peaceful. Such extreme cases are still rare, but the turmoil caused by a few people probably makes most innocent deer peppers, all followed by being looked at sideways. This is also a concern. On the other hand, on the mainland side, the Yaya incident also revealed to some extent that the so-called a dilemma of foreign propaganda or civil united front. I wanted to come through a woman who married Taiwan, communicate the voice of the motherland. It backfired. In the end, people were driven away. This shows that in places where the speech environment is relatively free, public opinion has its own immune system. Most Taiwanese are interested in the obvious united front content. I didn't buy it. They even fight back if the mainland really wants to use this kind of network. Honglai influences Taiwan. I'm afraid I have to think twice about the effect. And here's the irony. Yaya himself may not have gained any benefits. Not only did he fail to win the hearts of many Taiwanese people, instead he lost his stable life in Taiwan. In the future, he will return to the mainland. Maybe at first it will be taken by some official media, packaged as suppressed patriotic internet celebrities. Let's promote it. But what about after the heat? He might just be a human being. Soon forgotten, and he has to deal with being separated from his kids. If his children stay in Taiwan, think of this. I can't help but feel a little desolate for him. In general, Dupuy internet celebrity Yaya was deported from Taiwan. It's like a modern drama of cross-strait interaction. One man stands for freedom of speech. At the crossroads of national security, it ended up being a lose-lose outcome. For him personally, maybe it was just an ideal at first. I want to be a patriotic opinion leader on the internet. I didn't expect to play with fire and set myself on fire. For Taiwanese society. It's a reminder. The bottom line that needs to be adhered to behind freedom, and for the mainland public opinion field, once again, it reflects the internal and external system. Different understandings and interpretations of the word freedom. I hope there will be fewer stories like this in the future. After all, family harmony and cross-strait peace is the vast majority, the life that ordinary people really want. Next time, if someone else is enjoying the benefits here, while shouting the slogan over there, maybe he should also think about the past. Don't end up making yourself not human on both sides. That would be impossible.